Yu-Gi-Oh! GX released on October 6th, 2004, and it has my favorite decks out of any of the series, with two of those decks standing out from the rest, Heroes and Cyber Dragons. But how do these stack up in Edison format? Well, Heroes has a case to be a legitimate good deck in Edison, while Cyber Dragons just don't. But that's not going to stop me from trying. For the next 2 weeks, I'll be bringing these decks to an event and trying to win with them, mainly as a small break from playing frogs every month. But for this week's episode, we're playing Heroes. This archetype is my #1 favorite deck in the entire game. It's seen a lot of play in Edison thanks to Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, but it's almost always built as a secondary piece to a larger strategy, like Diva Hero or Hero Beat, meaning a lot of the hero fusions don't see any play. But part of my goals with my Polyfrog list was to use underutilized fusions, and this guy had a similar idea. His name's Marcus, and he won the Austrian UTW at Nationals this year, and he did it with this list. I'm a huge fan of the inclusion of Prisma and Sparkman, as Sparkman has a ton of fusions and some of them are really good. These two in particular are my favorites, being Plasma Vice, a card we've seen before on the channel, and Shining Flare Wingman, a card that I've been meaning to test for a while now, and one that I almost included in my last video. It's the combination of Flame Wingman and Sparkman, with it inheriting Flame Wingman's Battle Phase effect, and having a new effect that gives it 300 attack for each hero in your grave, making it an insane game ender. So after streaming a Dueling Book ranked session where I tested this deck, I was convinced it had legs to stand on, but there were some changes I'd like to make. Firstly, I swapped out Alias for Voltic, a card I've been meaning to test, and I had this theory that main decking 2 Compulsory Evacuation Device would be better than main decking Bottomless, seeing as the deck plays a lot of ways to get to Stratos, and if you compulse your own Stratos, you get to normal summon again and get more advantage. This was a mistake I'd come to regret, but this deck cooked in testing, so I brought it to my local monthly Edison tournament at Easy Gaming in North Carolina, and this is how it went. Before we get into today's tournament, please subscribe. Wait, hold on. This is actually a really good ratio if I'm being honest. I didn't know you guys were real like that, but subscribe anyways. Now, in the spirit of complete honesty, I didn't do great in this tournament, but for round 1, this deck overperformed. I genuinely cannot overstate just how insane this was, so just watch this.
Sure. King swap to add polymerization. Normal summon effect. Polymerization. Oh, yeah. These two. Have 0. Yep. Fusion recovery targeting polymerization and ocean. Polymerization. Miracle fusion? Yeah. I'll use the fusion substituting effect to key the swap to sub it out for Woodsman. Okay. Summon Terra Firma.
What does Terra Firma do? I'm not super familiar.
It's a non-once per turn tribute to gain the attack an elemental hero had on the field.
Okay, so you could tribute one of these into the field and he would gain 3,000?
Yes.
That is very good. We're in the next game.
Yep. That would actually be exactly 8K.
Yeah, no, we're good. That's crazy. I like that.
It's here. Poly. Voltic and Ab-Zero for another Ab-Zero.
Yeah.
Ab-Zero effect? Yep. Fusion recovery targeting polymerization and ocean.
Yeah, solid.
No tribute normal. Poly?
Let me double check.
It's 5,000,
Yeah,
26, 18.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Sometimes this deck cooks, so how does it go downhill from here? Round 2, I was up against Vayu Turbo, and while I go first game 1, I snipe the wrong back row with my MST and get trap dust shooted. This puts me on the back foot and I end up losing game 1. I even talked to my opponent about some alternate plays I could have made, and we both agreed that there wasn't anything I could have done. He was just too far ahead in advantage thanks to his card Trooper Mills. However, I did summon him. He didn't really do much, I just didn't want to waste an absolute zero, but plus 1 million aura just for summoning him. Game 2, my opponent got extremely unlucky and for 3 turns in a row drew Dust Tornado, leading me to win Game 2. And Game 3, I couldn't get my plays going because I didn't have access to polymerization. It's unfortunate, but this was actually a fun match, so good games to my opponent. There are 5 rounds in this tournament and I'm currently X1, so if I have any hopes of topping, I'd have to win the next 3 rounds consecutively. But unfortunately, my next opponent was the man, the myth, the legend, Rail My Dad. And I have to admit, the way he was playing, I bet he did rail my dad. Game 1, his continued access to trap cards and Stardust Dragon whittled me down. Game 2, I hit him with Soul Release and kept having access to big fellas like Ab-Zero and Blade Edge. But unfortunately, Game 3, I sided in 5 cards, and I saw all 5 of those cards. And while seeing your sideboard is nice, I would have rather seen at least some sort of playable hand. So I end up losing that one hard. But playing with my bestie Nick is so fun, and I couldn't be salty about it. Good games to Nick, you goober. You feel proud of yourself, buddy?
Yes, hello duelist. I just beat Goki. I'm the best.
So true, bestie.
I suck.
So true, bestie.
Sorry.
Where's the piss water ball? Where's your chugging piss?
Come on.
Okay.
Gotta stay dehydrated.
So we're X2, which means no matter what I do, I don't have a chance of topping. But I played the next 2 rounds anyways, because I was having fun. This deck is really fun to play and I want to test it more. Next time, I'll main those bottomless trap holes. I just didn't expect it to come up as much. And I have a ton of different ideas I want to try when it comes to this deck. I want to see if the Ocean and Woodsman deck could operate like this. Also, the Blade Edge package is fun and I loved trying it a few months ago, but the more I play it, the more it just feels like there's bricks clogging up my hand. But one thing that never felt bad was Sparkman. Sparkman is genuinely really good because of how many fusions he has, including Plasma Vice. So even if I don't play the Blade Edge, I could still make him. This deck has an insane amount of potential and I can't wait to explore it. But that's going to do it for this week's video. Make sure to subscribe. I have a few videos planned currently with the Master Faster episode coming out, I don't know, sometime in the next month, and a new video about Cyber Dragons probably coming out next week, hopefully. And if you want to support the channel and see my videos a day early, become a channel member. Plus, the best way to know when a video goes live is to join the Discord. So I'll have a link to that in the comments. With all of that YouTube shilling out of the way, my name is Goki, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Let's rev it up!